Hello everyone, my name is Keely. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome to another reading vlog. And this one is very exciting because I am going to be reading new release vampire books. So I even have my Forks sweatshirt on. I have my Twilight lip oil from ColourPop on. I am ready to go. You already know I am always in the vampire mood, and I just feel like 2024 has had so many vampire releases, and I'm going to read all of them. Even if it doesn't sound like something that I would be interested in, if it has vampires in it, I am going to read it. So I originally was going to do one video over new release vampire books, but the list kept getting longer and longer, so I think I'm going to treat you to 2 different vampire new release videos. So as of right now, I have 6 new release vampire books, and in this video I am going to read 3 of them, and then in the next video I will read the last 3 of them. Now if you look at any of these lists and you see, hey, there's another vampire book that came out that you didn't mention, please let me know, and I will film as many videos of new release vampire books as I can, because I don't know about you, but I will never get sick of it. So let me show you the 3 vampire books I will be reading for this video. I got all of these from my library, so if they have the little shiny cover, that's why. So the first one here is Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. This one I believe is like a comedy type book. I feel like it's giving very suburban mom. I feel like it might be pretty funny, but I've been looking forward to this one for so long, especially because like bless your heart is such a southern insult, and I am from Texas, so like we say this all the time, so I'm already there with the title, the cover, the vampireness of it all. The next one is one that I don't think I'm gonna like, and that is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. So I have heard fantastic things about S.T. Gibson. However, everything I've heard about her is a turnoff for me. Like everything. Beautiful writing, like some of her plots and her characters just don't seem like something that I will like. So I'm very nervous about this one. I actually wasn't originally going to read it, but because once again it is vampires and I'm filming this vlog, it came out this year, I'm gonna try it out for you and hopefully I like it. And the last one for this video is The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. I've read one book from this author before and my head is still spinning from it, and I think this one is kind of like horror thriller, and it's one of those, I think, where it's like, is it a vampire or isn't it? But we're gonna read it and we're gonna find out. So those are the 3 books for this video. Again, at the end of this video, I will show you what books are going to be in part 2. But for now, I am about to go to the library because ever since I got a library card last week, I cannot stop requesting books. One of the books I need to pick up is, in fact, a new release vampire book. So I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go get some lunch, or I'm gonna get some groceries so I can come home and make lunch. And then I think the book I'm gonna start is Bless Your Heart. I just think this one is going to be so fun, so we will see. I will take you along for the ride. So hopefully these books don't suck. Vampire pun. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right, I have an update for you on Bless Your Heart. So I started this yesterday, and today I am on page 128. So not quite halfway, but almost halfway. I was gonna update you at 100 pages, but it is Sunday football and the 49ers are playing right now. It's currently halftime, and I like to read during the game, so this is as quick as I could update you. So let me give you a little synopsis. So in this book, we actually follow 4 generations of women. So we have Luna, who is the youngest. Luna's mom is Grace. Grace's mom is Lenore, and Lenore's mom is Ducey. So we have 4 generations of women, and they are all vampire hunters. We are in this small Texas town. It is 1999, and these women run a funeral home. 15 years ago, all we know is that something horrible happened, and now it seems like things might be repeating itself. People are dying left and right. People are raising from the dead, and it is these women's job to protect their town and get rid of these vampires. And Luna, the youngest, she actually hasn't been told anything about their history and their past and their duty as this family and vampire hunters until one day she finds out, and she is trying to grapple with why are they keeping secrets and how do I go on with the rest of my life knowing that this is my duty. So this book is really fun and really intriguing. I will say that I feel like I'm reading it so slow. It's just one of those books, and maybe it's the writing style or something that makes me feel like I am not reading as quick as I usually do, but I'm still really enjoying it. I just love the 1999 setting and a family of vampire hunters, although I do not condone vampire hunting. Long live the vampires. But it's interesting because 1999, and it talks about a lot of the true crime things that happened at that time. That was a very hot time for true crime, and so it mentions a few of those things. I love seeing the 4 generations of women and how we get to see a lot of their history, and we slowly learn more and more of their background and why and how they got into vampire hunting. We're still not quite sure about, so I can't wait to learn more about that. The vampires in here are very interesting because they are nasty and bloody and gory and not hot and attractive. But one of my favorite things about this book too is it doesn't really shy away from the gore. I feel like this is very similar in feelings to the Southern Book Club's Guide to Saying Vampires. That one is very reminiscent of this. Like, if you liked that one, I'm sure you'll like this one too. I love that book. That was a 5-star for me, so I'm really hoping this one is as well. I feel like the writing and the language is very similar. We're set in a southern town. We're following women who are hunting these vampires, and the gore and the blood is all there. Some of the descriptions of the death scenes are pretty intense, and I really enjoy them. They are quite sickening, if I do say so myself. But I'm enjoying it. I love that it's set in a small town in Texas because I just moved from a small town in Texas. So far going great with this one. Hopefully it continues well. This one also is under 300 pages, so I'm hoping to finish it, like, you know, pretty quickly. But like I said, it's kind of reading a bit slow. And like I said, today is Sunday, and tomorrow I have my first day at my new job. I have never done anything like this job before, so I'm quite nervous, but I hope that it's something that I love and that I'm really good at, because I've had horrible jobs in the past, and so I'm hoping that this is a really good one. But it's always terrifying to start a new job, so I really don't know what my hours are gonna look like this week or going forward for that matter. So I don't know how much reading I'm gonna be able to do, how much my reading habits are going to change. We're all coming along this journey together, and I will let you know how it goes. But for now, I'm gonna go watch more of the 49ers game and read more of my book, and hopefully I make some good progress. Good morning. My camera's at 5%, so let's see if I can film this update before it dies. But I do owe you a reading update because I have finished Bless Your Heart. I finished this yesterday, and I was kind of letting my thoughts, you know, marinate for a little bit because I'm honestly not sure. There was something about this that didn't quite work for me. I never got completely sucked in, another vampire pun, but I was never completely obsessed, and I couldn't tell if it was because of the writing or the pacing, or it could possibly be both of those things. I did really enjoy the characters. I love seeing the familial dynamic because we did follow 4 generations, and so that was interesting to see. I loved the small town 1999 vibes. I really did enjoy the vampires and the lore behind it, and the explanations between the new vampires versus the more powerful vampires and how they kind of adapt and grow and things like that. This book was also very gory and bloody, and if you don't like gross horror, I don't know if this will be for you. I love gross horror, I love gross descriptions, and this one definitely had that. And I really liked the juxtaposition of these 4 women we follow versus the horrible descriptions of the deaths and the murders and things like that. I really liked that, but I honestly just think the pacing was a little bit off for me. So I am giving this one 3 stars. I still enjoyed it, had a really good time, and I definitely recommend it. I also think that there's a sequel to this because the way things ended, it kind of left it a little open-ended, and then when you look on Goodreads, I'm pretty sure the sequel's already announced. I don't know how I feel about the cover though, but I will probably plan on reading that one when it comes out, and I'm interested to see what story it actually follows. But yes, 3 stars for this first vampire book in the blog. And then afterwards, I wasn't sure what I wanted to pick up, but I have picked up another book, and I decided to pick up An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson, and this is the one that I was the most worried about, so I think that's why I wanted to like sandwich it in between two books that I was more excited about. But this one, I don't even know how to describe to you. So I've started reading it and I'm actually already 100 pages in, and it reads quicker than I thought it would because the words on here are massive, which I love. But I, again, don't know how to give you a synopsis for this book. I don't understand. Okay, so I think it's set in the 60s, so the 1960s, and we are at an all-girls school. I think it's like a Catholic school or something like that, and we follow these two girls. One of them is named Carmilla, and she is the very captivating, intriguing, kind of mean girl type character. And then we follow Laura. Now, Laura is a freshman going into this college, and she's new. She wants to study poetry, and the professor at this school is Miss De La Fontaine, and she is very charismatic. People are very drawn to her. Everybody wants to be in her class, and she might be a vampire. So there's some weird things going on here. Laura is immediately intrigued by Carmilla, and she just wants to be around her all the time. But we also do have kind of a rivalry between these two because they are both trying to capture the attention of De La Fontaine, and Carmilla is very, very close to De La Fontaine. And so now that Laura is catching the professor's eye, Carmilla is getting very, very jealous. So I honestly don't understand the point of this book. Like, I don't feel like there's much of a plot. This is very much a character study and a study of obsession, which is fun. I love obsession. We haven't really gotten a lot of glimpses into the vampire stuff, so I'm hoping we see more of that, because 100 pages in, we've only gotten like one little sneak peek preview of that. But the characters are interesting, the setting is interesting, but I'm hoping we get a little bit more from that. But that is that for right now. My camera's about to die, so I just wanted to update you. My first day of work on Monday went so much fun. It was great. I left with excitement. Everybody seems good vibes all around. Today I go in for my second day of work. I go in at like 1. It's 10:30 right now, so I have a little bit more time to read. So until then, I will see you later, I guess. Okay, it's about 7 a.m., so sorry if the lighting's not great, but I leave for work in about 30 minutes, and I've been reading in the mornings, and I am now halfway in An Education in Malice. I'm on page 179, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Last clip, I said I hope we get more vampire stuff because we've barely seen anything. Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it almost immediately after I updated you. We saw vampire stuff, and I think we're going to continue seeing more and more of it, and I don't know why, but I'm enjoying it, and I really didn't think I would. The writing is not overly descriptive and flowery. I have heard that this writing is different than A Dowry of Blood, so this writing is much preferred for me. I haven't read A Dowry of Blood, but the way that writing is described, I don't think I would like it, but this seems pretty simple. I like how it's like a character study. There's not really any plot, so I have no idea where this could potentially go, but halfway in and I'm enjoying it, which is far more than I ever thought I would say about this book. But as for today, I have work. So with my new job, I work 10-hour shifts. So I work 4 days a week and then 3 days off, which is really, really nice. But it just takes a little time to get used to 10-hour shifts. Yesterday I had my first 10-hour day and it went really well. Of course, I'm just in training right now. I'm gonna be in training for about 6 weeks, so it's just learning a lot of information because I am doing something I have never done before. I'm also working for an airline, so there's a lot of different changes daily, especially with the hurricane that just hit Florida. So there's a lot going on, a lot to learn, but so far I'm having really good vibes and excitement about this job. So hopefully I continue to love it and hopefully it continues to go well. But it is Friday. I do work tomorrow, but just from 8 to 1 because I'm just shadowing someone. And then after that, my high school best friend is in Denver. I was like, what are you doing here? So I think tomorrow I'm taking her family pictures. But other than that, I should be able to read a lot of this book and hopefully I can finish it tomorrow. And then Sunday and Monday I'm off. And so maybe I can finish my third book. I don't know, we'll see. But right now I'm gonna turn you around and show you my view from my upstairs window. because it's stunning. We have the beautiful, perfect view of the Rocky Mountains. So let me show you. So this is my window from upstairs. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is come look out this window, and it looks so cool right now with all the clouds. You can see the mountains in the background, and I'm loving it. Okay, this is actually really good lighting right here. I love it. But I just got done filming 2 different videos. I filmed my September wrap up, and then I started another vlog because it is time for Spookoplathon. Spookoplathon starts tomorrow, so I went ahead and started and chose my first book so that as soon as tomorrow hits, I can start my first book, which means this vlog is going to come out later than anticipated because I haven't finished the last book for this video. However, I did finish my second book for this video, which is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. The last time I talked to you, I was really enjoying it. I love the vampire aspects. The character study and the power dynamic was really, really interesting. However, this kind of took a turn for the worse for me. There was a scene in here that is just not my type of thing that I want to read, and when I think of S.T. Gibson, I think of something like that, so I was really worried about it. I'm being very vague because I don't want to spoil, but I think that scene is the reason that I don't think I will ever pick up A Dowry of Blood. And so because of that, I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I still enjoyed it, and I liked it way more than I actually thought I was going to. I liked the characters and where the story went. However, there were just some dynamics, some weird things that is not something that I want to read about. So 3 stars for that one, which means I have one more book for this video, which is The Gathering, and it's actually downstairs, so I don't have anything to hold up. I'm about 56 pages into that, so I have nothing for you right now, but we are already like full on into vampire stuff, so I am very excited for this book because I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Sorry if you can hear my dryer buzzing. It's an incredibly annoying dryer that buzzes forever. But yeah, one more book to go for this video. However, I don't think I'm going to get to that book anytime soon because Spookoplathon is starting tomorrow. I will be reading The Gathering today. I have the day off, and it is about 12 p.m. It's noon, so I'm going to eat lunch, and then I will finally sit down and read more of The Gathering. But I do have to edit my video for tomorrow, which is that September wrap-up I just filmed. So hopefully I do make some good progress in The Gathering, and I probably will come back to you later today when I do have an update. So I have made the executive decision to finish this book before I start Spookopoly because I am loving this. I am obsessed. And yesterday I got to page 135. So it is about 9 a.m. right now, and I work from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. today. So for the next like 2.5 hours before I have to leave, I'm going to be reading this. So let me give you a little synopsis. So we follow this detective, and in this world, vampires exist, and everyone knows that they exist. And vampires live in these places called colonies, and they're very ostracized. People think they are violent creatures, and so they want to get rid of all of them. I feel like this book is like almost like a commentary on how people react today to certain people groups or people of color or things like that, because some of the things I'm seeing in here, the way that these humans react to vampires, I'm just like, oh, that's real. Like that is happening, and how are we gonna fix that? But anyway, we follow this detective, and she is a vampire anthropologist. Dream job, let me tell you. And she is going to rural Alaska because a young 15-year-old boy has been murdered, and it looks like it was done by a vampire. So she is there to kind of look at the facts, look at the evidence, and decide if it is or not. Because these people are calling for a cull, C-U-L-L, a cull, which means get rid of all the vampires, basically exterminate them and kill them off. And so she's like, hold on, that's illegal. We need to have justifiable reason for that, so let me go and investigate. And as she is there, she is realizing that there is more to this than it seems. I love this. Vampires, detective, snowy isolated setting. Yes, I love it. I don't know if you will like this, like if you, actually I think you still will, because I know a lot of people don't like detective like POVs. I love detective POVs, and I feel like this one isn't too heavy because it's interesting because it's a different kind of detective because she is a vampire anthropologist, and the setting in Alaska is great right now. She's kind of like stuck in this small town, and she's seeing a lot of like these racist symbols and these salutes, so very reminiscent of like Nazism and things like that. So that's why I think this is also a little bit of a commentary on racial issues in the real world, but in this book it is geared towards vampires, and I'm having a great time. I love it. The chapters are short. I am flying through this. The vampire aspect is so, so cool. We're getting to see more and more of the colony. But then also, I think it was like 25 years ago, there was another alleged vampire murder, or like a vampire murdered a human. And there's some secrets going on with that too. So I'm gonna be reading for the next 2.5 hours. This morning I woke up, I ran, I did my little workout, and now I'm gonna have my little breakfast and then read. And that's my day until 11:30 when I have to leave for work. But I'm loving this. I'm so excited. Hopefully I continue loving it. Okay, I am here to wrap up this video because I just finished The Gathering by CJ Tudor, and this was my favorite book in the video. I absolutely loved it. I love detective point of views, and the fact that this included a vampire detective is something that I have never read before, so I think it was a unique take on this type of story. I also really loved the vampires and how they worked in this world, and I always love a good small town, isolated, snowy Alaskan setting. Yes, that was so perfect. There was so much like small town drama. We couldn't trust any of the townsfolk because they were so against the colony, the vampires, and they wanted to kill them. But me being a vampire girly, I was like, no, we cannot kill the vampires. And the detective is also very good at her job. She is not going to unnecessarily kill vampires or order a cull unless that the evidence points there and it's proven that the vampires are at fault. The mystery in here was very intriguing throughout the entire story, and I loved all the reveals we got. There were a lot of different questions and reveals that needed to be resolved, and this might be the first book in like a potential series. Like the ending sets it up to continue. So I'm really hoping that the story continues and we see like a new setting, we see a new mystery, and we see more of these vampires and this detective. I just really, really enjoyed this. I'm giving it 5 stars. I really loved it. This is one of my new favorite vampire books. However, although I'm giving it 5 stars, I do have some complaints. Shocker. One of the complaints is some of the ways that Detective Atkins was described. Some of the descriptions and comments seemed a little fat phobic, and when I would read them, I'd be like, ooh, why'd you have to say it like that? So there's that. And then also you can really tell CJ Tudor hates religion, and a lot of her comments about God and religion really, really bothered me, and I just don't want to be able to hear her voice in that way through her stories. But nonetheless, I still love this book and I give it 5 stars. So that is wrapping up episode 1 of reading new vampire book releases. I read 3 books in this video. Bless Your Heart was 3 stars. I still recommend it. It just didn't quite hit the mark for me. And then An Education of Malice, also 3 stars. I was really surprised by that one because I thought I would hate it, but I did end up enjoying it. There were just a few things that I don't want to read about. And then The Gathering, 5 stars. Overall, I recommend all 3 of these books. They were all really, really good vampire books. And honestly, this might be one of my most successful vampire videos. So I recommend all of them. Let me know if you've read any of these as well. But now a little preview into episode 2. I have 4 books actually for that video because I have since added another one. So I have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faizal. I have not read anything from this author, but I'm also a little nervous about this one because it's a heist novel and I do not like reading about heists, so we'll see. Then I also have Lucy Undying by Kirsten White. I really love Kirsten White's books. I have read, I believe, like 4 of them now, and I really enjoy this one, or this author. This is a Dracula retelling and it's quite chunky, so we'll see if I can get through that. And then this one, very popular right now, So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. I've read 1 book from this author so far and I didn't love it. I had a few issues with it, but I'm hoping her vampire story is even better because a lot of people love this author. This was also my first ever aardvark book, so that's exciting. And then the last one is a book that I haven't really heard anything about. I saw it in the bookstore and purchased it. And that is Immortal Dark by Tages Gurma. And this one, I saw it in the bookstore because these sprayed edges, like look at that, so stunning. And then when I looked it up, and I believe it's like about Academy for Vampires or something, maybe, but it's like stunning inside as well. So I have that one as well. But 4 books for episode 2. I'm probably going to start reading one of those like right after this video. I'm leaving for work in about 40 minutes. I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to start yet, but that is the end of this video. If you have made it this far, go ahead and leave, of course, the vampire emoji, but that is it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all my social media links will be down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!